always said, a man who will lie to his country, to his wife, and to his children is no good.
Throughout the long and difficult period of Watergate, I have felt it was my duty to persevere, to make every possible effort to complete the term of office to which you elected me. In the past few days, however, it has become evident to me that I no longer have a strong enough political base in the Congress to justify continuing that effort. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour. I regret deeply any injuries that may have been done in the course of the events that led to this decision. I would say only that if some of my judgments were wrong, and some were wrong, they were made in what I believed at the time to be the best interest of the nation. To those who have stood with me during these past difficult months, I will be eternally grateful for your support. And to those who have not felt able to give me your support, let me say, I leave with no bitterness toward those who have opposed me. May God's grace be with you in all the days ahead.
You are one of the oldest friends of Richard Nixon. I believe you both went, I think you first came to Congress in 49.
I came into Congress 2 years after he did.
And you became friends, and you were friends. I imagine you're still friends.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could just talk a bit about Mr. Nixon as he's one of the most complex figures ever to appear in public life in this country. And to this day, it's difficult to understand what caused kind of self-destructive actions that led to his fall from power. And I was wondering if you could speak just for a moment about his character, what he's like as a man, what he was like when you first met him, and what he was like at the end of his presidency. As a man, not as a president, but as a personality.
I should suggest that for the best statement on my part in response to your questions, you could get from the book that I wrote. Because I took a lot of time and was very careful in how I phrased my observation concerning Dick Nixon. And I don't want to change in our conversation what I said in the book, because I think my writings are the most accurate description.
Can I put the question in slightly different? Billy Graham said that when he heard read the transcripts of the Watergate tapes, he was shocked by what he'd read, and he suddenly perceived a man he never knew. That Richard Nixon on those tapes was a man he didn't know, and he'd known Richard Nixon since 1953, I believe. When the Watergate tapes came out, and as they keep continually coming out, did you have, even at the time of Mr. Nixon's resignation, did you have any idea of that part of his personality that we now are beginning more and more to see?
Over the years of our friendship, which goes back to January 1949, I saw some glimpses, very narrow glimpses of some of those characteristics. But all of the time up to the Watergate period, I saw the other side of him totally controlling those more adverse characteristics. In other words, the strength of the rest of his character totally dominated that very narrow part of his character, which I think history shows was a weakness. The tragedy is that narrow scope, or portion, or segment of his character, in my opinion, was exploited by people that surrounded him. And once that was exploited, the wave overcame all the good aspects of his character. And he had many superior talents, many.
He was a brilliant man.
He was a brilliant man and had superior capability. But there was a very narrow segment which in 90-some% of the time he totally controlled.
Do you think he was aware of the manipulation?
I don't know. You can't pass judgment.
Do you still see him, sir? Do you still talk with him?
I've seen him several times. Of course, when we went to Sadat's funeral, when we participated in the testimonials at the time of Humphrey's death. When I come to New York, most of the time I'll give him a call, but we don't get together.
Oh, what was said on the plane, by the way? You gonna tell anybody?
A lot of conversation.